Understanding claims for police brutality, conditions and precedents. Police brutality, a deeply unsettling societal issue, involves law enforcement officers exercising excessive or unnecessary force against civilians. This can take various forms such as physical assault, verbal abuse, intimidation, or racial profiling. Victims of such acts have legal rights to seek justice, provided certain conditions are met. This video explores these conditions and cites instances where victims successfully made claims against police brutality. Conditions for a police brutality claim. Violation of constitutional rights. One of the essential conditions is that the victim's constitutional rights must have been violated. This typically involves the Fourth Amendment, which protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures, and the Eighth Amendment, which protects against cruel and unusual punishment. If these rights are violated through police misconduct, a claim can be made. Excessive or unnecessary force. For a claim to be valid, the officer must have used force deemed excessive or unnecessary under the circumstances. What qualifies as excessive can be subjective and is often determined based on factors such as the severity of the crime, the threat posed by the suspect, and the suspect's resistance to arrest. Injury or harm. A victim must have suffered some form of harm, either physical or psychological, due to the officer's misconduct. This harm can range from bodily injuries to emotional trauma. Published instances of successful police brutality claims. The case of Rodney King. Perhaps one of the most famous instances of police brutality is the 1991 Rodney King case in Los Angeles. 4 officers brutally beat King, and the act was captured on video. The officers were initially acquitted in a state court, sparking the infamous LA riots. However, federal charges were later brought against the officers under violation of King's civil rights, and 2 officers were found guilty. The killing of Laquan McDonald. In Chicago, in 2014, Laquan McDonald, a black teenager, was shot 16 times by a white police officer. The officer was convicted of second-degree murder and 16 counts of aggravated battery, marking a rare instance of a police officer being held accountable for an on-duty shooting. The death of George Floyd. The case that sparked worldwide protests against police brutality was the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis in 2020. The officer knelt on Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes, leading to Floyd's death. The officer was found guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in 2021. These conditions and cases serve as a guide to understanding when a person might have a valid claim for police brutality. While each case is unique, the common thread is that no one, including law enforcement, is above the law. If you believe you have been a victim of police brutality, consult with a trusted legal professional who can guide you through your options based on your specific situation. Call us 512-246-9191.